Good afternoon, Dodgerinos. I'm Carlos Baseball. This is Willpower on our new show in the Dodger Pod. We're from Real Talk Baseball, but we decided to do another show, which is all based on Dodger stuff, right? We're gonna start with us talking about the schedule, the remaining schedule for the Dodgers and for the Giants. Only for August. I know September is gonna be pretty tough for both teams, but it looks like the Giants have a pretty tough schedule starting from yesterday because they started playing the Mets and the Dodgers are playing the Pirates. So it looks like the Dodgers have a little bit of a breathing room playing a little weaker team compared to the Giants. Yeah, so it's going to be a little bit more manageable for the Dodgers to catch up. For you Dodger fans that are panicking and thinking that the Dodgers don't have a chance to win the division, this is where the Dodgers have to gain ground. This is where they need to start that momentum and getting into that 4-game winning streak, making it into a 10-game winning streak. Because remember, the Dodgers are 4 games behind, but the Giants, they don't let up, dude. They're freaking. I don't know what's going on with the Giants. I mean, we're Dodger fans, so we should be talking good about the Giants, but what are they doing good, man? What are they doing right? They're playing a good baseball, right? They're playing good baseball. No one thought that they were going to go beyond the All-Star game and be in first place. And look we're in August and they're still in first place.
It kind of seems like the Giants players are kind of just like going back to the basics, playing a lot of small ball. A lot of them can hit the long ball. A lot of them do hit the long ball, but that's not the meat of their game. A lot of their game actually comes from base hits and walks and moving runners over, and then another base hit, and then you score a run, and then you score another run, and then they rally, and there's a lot of really good contact hitters on that team, and a huge upgrade with Chris Bryant that just joined the Giants. Yeah. That's huge, man. He's a former MVP, former Rookie of the Year, I think.
Yeah, 2016. 2016, he was a MVP. That's the year they won it, right? 2016.
2016. Yeah, he's a World Series champion also. The Giants are no strangers to world championships. They have 3 in the past 20 years.
Yeah, and dude, it sucks to talk about the Giants being in first place over the Dodgers, and what better rivalry, right, to have the Dodgers and Giants at the top of their divisions. I mean, I only put the Dodgers and the Giants because the Padres are fading away slowly. Yeah. They were supposed to be in the mix with the Dodgers on top of the division.
Didn't you hear they got a new ace with Jake Arrieta?
Oh, yeah, but that's an old ace. It's not a new ace.
Hey, he's a Cy Young.
Cy Young, that's true.
What they're telling themselves over there in San Diego.
Yeah, it's not looking too good for San Diego. I mean, I have a lot of people that that listen to the Real Talk Baseball that they're San Diego fans, and like I said, it's not looking really good. Like I said, the Dodgers and the Padres should have been on top of the division, but it's the Giants and Dodgers. And yeah, man, this is the remainder of the schedule. So the Dodgers are playing Pittsburgh today, like I'm pretty sure is going on right now. After this series, they play the Mets, and they're going to go for a 4-game series against the Mets here in Los Angeles. They swept them out there in New York, and it was pretty close until like the 8th or 9th inning. Bullpen, I thought we had a bad bullpen, but it looks like the Mets have a really even worse bullpen than we do. So
yeah, they have helping out decent arms, but I mean, for one thing, they can't even decide who the closer is. There's Edwin Diaz that has 17 or 18 saves, but then there's 2 other guys on the team that have like 6 or 7 themselves. Yeah. So they're kind of still trying to figure things out. I mean, honestly, though, I'd rather have what they have than Kenley Jansen, where Dave Roberts just trusts him and puts him out there every single time there's a save situation.
I don't know, man. We'll get into that one a little bit later, but I wouldn't trust anybody from the Mets, to be honest. I honestly,
I'm just saying I don't trust Jansen either.
No, but he has better numbers than the Mets bullpen. Look at the schedule. The Dodgers are home basically the rest of the month. They're going to San Diego, which is, like our second ballpark, right? Yeah. And then the Giants, they're hosting the Mets right now. They go to Oakland, which is probably like a couple of miles away from San Francisco. And then they go to New York, they go to Atlanta, and then they have Milwaukee in San
Like at home.
Francisco.
Yeah, that's a lot
So
of traveling, man.
that's a
So
lot of traveling. Not only
it's
a lot of traveling,
it's a
they're
lot
playing
of
a lot of
tired Giants players.
and they're playing a lot of good baseball teams. That's what I'm looking
Yeah.
at too. So this is, like I said at the beginning of the show, this is where the Dodgers need to pick up. This is where they need to put it in gear, put it in third gear or fourth gear, whatever you guys want to call it, cruise control, because they're not playing big time teams. So yeah, the only team they're going to face, I feel, on this schedule for the Dodgers is San Diego at Petco.
Well, only because Tatis is back now, but they just got no hit.
Yeah, but you know how the Padres always play super, super hard against the Dodgers.
That's true.
It's like that's
Just
their
like
World
the
Series
Giants.
for them. That's
Yeah.
their World Series for them. So you can't go light on the Padres because they're gonna be like, no, we need to play hard. Doesn't matter if we don't make playoffs, which
Well,
you know,
especially Machado, because Machado used to be a Dodger. And I feel like when you move on to a different team like that, you kind of want to prove yourself to the new team that you're on. Not only to the new team that you're on, but you also want to prove it to the other team that didn't give you the offer, like the contract offer that maybe another team did.
I'm pretty sure he knew before he got traded on the All-Star game. And I'm pretty sure they told him, hey man, we're not going to sign you. We're just renting you for the remainder of 2 months or 3 months, whatever is left of the baseball season. And then, we're not going to sign you because we still have Corey Seager. So
I think they would have said that. I think, I think they probably would have said like, it's in the air right now. We don't know what our plans are for the future.
Did he have a no trade clause back then? Do you remember?
No, I don't think so.
No. So then, yeah, you'd be upfront with them. Like, you know what?
Because that was the first time he hit free agency.
Yeah.
So, you don't get a no trade clause until you actually have your first MLB contract, when he was still kind of working off his extension with the minor league contract.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that happened to the Dodgers, and it hasn't happened in a long time, is, they pick up a player and he doesn't perform. Usually when you hear Dodgers pick up a player, they perform. And this guy here, Cole Hamels, they just signed him about 2-3 weeks ago, and he's out for the season. So he's not going to be pitching this year. He might pitch next year. Remember, they signed him this year, the remainder of this year and next year. So it looks like he'll be in the starting rotation maybe next year if he's ready to go. And he's an older player. You expect him to probably pitch 5 innings, no more than that.
Yeah, especially in today's game.
Yeah, so he's probably going to be one of those bullpen pitchers. So, we weren't expecting a lot. I know we were hearing a lot of things about Kershaw, how he's been out, and maybe he's going to be out for longer, and that's why they signed him. There's news on Trevor Bauer right now with all the scandal he has going on, and there's been things coming out, and it doesn't look like he's going to come back this season. So that's why we don't even talk about it that much as Dodger fans, or as anything. We mentioned it before, but that's something that we can't really talk about that much because we really don't know what's going on with the allegations and all that stuff. So,
well, you heard about the new one, right?
There's new one, there's an old one, and then
so you know what I wanted to kind of bring up about the situation. Do you remember what happened with Felipe Vazquez?
Mm-hmm.
So Felipe Vazquez, for those who don't know, a couple years ago, he actually got in trouble. He got caught soliciting himself to minors. So he was going after, I think she was 16 or 17 years old. And I think there was a little bit more to it than just that. But he just received his sentence today. That is, it said between 2 and 4 years. So I don't think they have like a specific time, but he's going to spend the next 2 or 4 years in jail.
Wow.
So, like not even talking about the jail time, that was over 2 years ago that we found out about Felipe Vazquez. So even if Trevor Bauer is acquitted of all charges, it's probably going to take at least a year, maybe even 2, to really like dig deep into this situation for lawyers to go through everything. And then so many court appearances and maybe bouncing around to different courtrooms. There's so much that could go on. And we're probably not going to see him at all in a Dodger uniform again. Even if he does pitch in MLB again one day, I don't think that it's going to happen for the rest of this season or the next season either, which at this point, after this season's over, he's still getting paid right now. He's on administrative leave. So I think after this season, you just got to cut ties with him, buy out his contract and just let him go.
I don't think it's going to be buyout. I think if he becomes where he violated something in MLB, which MLB still hasn't done anything to it, he hasn't really investigated fully because there's still a court date,
right,
and
which
there's
is
still
probably
everything.
going to take a while. So
exactly,
why waste the $40 million next year paying him when you can give him a fraction of it and just cut ties with him?
That's what I'm saying. So what I was saying is that once it's done, like if they find him to be guilty or not guilty, then MLB will be like, you know what? You broke protocol. You're not going to get paid. The Dodgers get their money back. And that's happened. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It takes time. But it's gonna definitely happen. And that's where the Dodgers are gonna, get their money back because they paid a lot for him for 2 seasons.
Yeah, and I hope they get their money back because we could really use it on some other players because we got free agency coming up for a lot of good players. 2 big names in Kershaw and Corey Seager. Yep. So losing those 2 guys, now that we have Trey Turner that can take over at shortstop, it's not such a big deal that we're losing Corey Seager because honestly, in my opinion, Trey Turner is a way more offensive presence than Corey Seager is, especially considering Trey Turner's injuries. How many times Corey Seager's injuries, how many times he's been injured in the past, 5 years that he's been in Major League Baseball.
That's true.
It's just one year after another. It's always something new. And then the Tommy John had him for a complete year out. And then when he returned, he still wasn't the same. And then all of a sudden he started getting hot. Then he gets hurt again. And then he goes out for 2 months of the season. And then now we finally have him back and he's producing again. So he's the type of guy that's definitely going to produce in the lineup, but it's when he's healthy. And you're forgetting
about one player, though. You're forgetting about Scherzer. You said Kershaw and Seager.
Oh, yeah.
What about Scherzer? Scherzer's a Dodger, too. So that money can go towards him. Get him 2 years, man. He's older. He's 37. Get him to 30.
And I trust him a lot more than I trust Kershaw.
I do, too. That's why I will pick him up in fantasy before Kershaw.
I traded him to you.
Yeah, I know. That's good. That's a good trade.
You're welcome.
Let's keep going. We have 2 hot Dodgers right now, and I'm gonna show the video. These guys are killing it right now. Max Muncie and it's the other guy, Pollock. Man, these guys are on it. If it wasn't for those 2 players, I think the Dodgers wouldn't be in the position where they're on now. Max Muncie has been one of the MVPs for the Dodgers since the season started. And then we can talk about Justin Turner too, because when he's not in the lineup, the presence is just something huge for him. And then Pollock wasn't playing every day. Now he's an everyday player. So he's batting 300, dude. And I remember when they signed Pollock, they had a crowded outfield already. And right now it looks like once, Mookie Betts comes back, how is that outfield going to look, dude?
That it's becoming a good problem to have.
It's a good problem to have. I wouldn't want to be a coach for that, though.
I mean, you 3 weeks ago, you could say, well, Bellinger's sucking right now. So, of course, you want to sit him down and only bat him against righties and only, just be the fill-in. He's not making a lot of money. So it's not like you would be wasting money having him on the bench. I'm sure upper management would love that part of it. But all of a sudden, this guy wants to get hot. He's batting like 260 in the last 2 weeks, 4 home runs when he only has 9 on the season total. He's heating up, man. He's not hot yet, batting 260 for the last 2 weeks and slowed down a little bit at the end of last week. But his power stroke is coming back. It looks like he's like, we were talking about before how he looks so stiff up there when he's batting. He's starting to loosen up, man. I went to the Phillies game when the Dodgers were in town to game 2, and I was lucky enough to see Bellinger hit 2 home runs in that game, dude. One was an opposite field home run that went like left center, and then one of them he pulled it hard, dude. I thought it was going to hit the pole. I was praying to God that, it wouldn't go foul. And I mean, it wouldn't have mattered anyway, because they won 8-2, but, yeah, very similar to that one that we just saw. Oh, that was him actually.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? You see how we've been talking about how he turns his head. You can see clearly on these home runs how he's like straight on the ball.
Finally looking at the ball.
Yeah, look at that. Look right there.
I would see that so many times, dude, where he would just like flail and then turn his head this way, like towards the dugout.
Yeah.
Like, why would you turn your head that way? It doesn't even make
sense. Boom. He's looking at the ball all the way through, dude. It's just something about Bellinger where he's standing up straight. To me, it looks uncomfortable as hell, man. I mean, everybody has a way of batting, but look at that. Eye on the ball, head on the ball, everything. So it's like, dude, this guy is on it. I know for sure it's going to be a problem for Dave Roberts, and it's going to be a good problem to have. You want to go over the numbers, Will, on this one?
Yeah, I mean, horrible season numbers. And 215 at-bats for this season. He's batting only 181, a 270 on-base percentage, which, as I've always said on our other podcasts, if your on-base percentage is 100 points higher than your batting average, at least you're having some good plate discipline. You're probably not striking out that much. You're getting walked a lot. And this guy has close to, on the season numbers, his on-base percentage is close to 100 points higher than his batting average. So that was actually a pretty good sign. But 9 home runs and 215 at-bats with a 353 slug, that's horrible, man. Yeah. A guy that's known for power, that's a former MVP, former Rookie of the Year, needs to have 600 or more slugging percentage.
Yeah.
And you want it closer, like the OPS on base plus slugging, you want it close to like 900. So like a 400 OBP and a 600 slugging percentage, that's amazing. That's 1,000, So to see him in the last 2 weeks raising his batting average almost 100 points to 256, the on base percentage is up a little bit. I'd like to see it a little bit higher, closer to 100 points higher than his batting average, so more like a 340 350 range. But that slugging percentage right there, man, 628. So that's not just home runs that we're seeing from Bellinger. That's a lot of doubles, a couple triples kind of trickled in there. This guy's heating up, man. And
what a good time to heat up, though. Right? That's when they need him.
Exactly.
This is where they need
that's
him.
Exactly what I was thinking about, man, with these other teams like the Padres that we were mentioning earlier.
Yeah.
That we had our injuries. The Dodgers had our injuries first half of the season. Still kind of like working out some things right now, but it's not as bad as it was in the beginning of the season. Beginning of the season is like everyone was getting hurt, and the Padres were all healthy. And then now, towards the end of the season, that's when we're seeing Yu Darvish go on the IL. We're seeing, a bunch of players, Tatis, that's been on the IL 3 times this year with the shoulder, who's actually starting in right field. I don't understand how starting in right field is going to help him stay healthy when he got hurt twice, once on a swing and once sliding into third base.
I honestly think it's just a thing that they're doing.
Just to get him out of shortstop because he makes so many errors.
Not only that, but I think the Padres are trying to rest him. We've talked about it on the other shows, like on Real Talk Baseball, how the Padres have been, every time before they play the Dodgers, he goes on the IL. Who are they playing next week? The Dodgers. He's already back. So, it's one of those players that can't really play the 162 games. If the Padres are doing that to be cautious and not having him get injured, more power to the Padres, right? They're paying them that money. Take care of your player. So, and it is a long season from what we saw last year where it was 60 games compared to 162. It's a very long season this year. And I've noticed how, for me personally, I used to panic when it was like July and the Dodgers were in third place or second place. I was in panic mode. Like, man, the Dodgers need to win today. Why are they not winning today? Like, and then right now is way different. Maybe because I understand the season a lot more than I did years before. This year, I'm like, they're in second place. They're 4 games back. There's still 2 months left of baseball. Well, a month and a half of baseball. And I'm looking at the schedule, and I think this is where the Dodgers are going to gain ground. And this is where the Dodgers are going to beat the Giants at their own game, because the Giants have been playing a lot of slouchy teams. Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
You know, they've been playing just the same as the Dodgers,
Even
but I think
within the division, even within the division, because
even within the division,
the
yeah,
Diamondbacks, the Rockies, they're terrible lineups. The Padres were a hot team for a long time, but the
yeah,
Dodgers weren't. The Dodgers weren't hitting like the Padres were hitting.
and
The
they kept
Dodgers were
up.
winning a lot of games because of their defense, their solid defense that was limiting runs, in addition to solid pitching.
Yeah,
But now you have the solid pitching, you have the solid defense, and the bats are starting to get hotter.
yeah, which is making more sense for the Dodgers, which is just like I said, it's a long season, but now I'm understanding. I don't know if it's me getting older or me had to see a shortened season like we did last year to understand this full length season, and I'm understanding it way more now. Like we've talked about Tatis, how he's getting rest and he's getting going into the IL. Look at Julio Diaz. Julio Diaz is in the IL for what? Do you know? Probably he's tired, right? He's been pitching since the year started, and this is the first time he's going to do a full season. Why
Hey,
not put him in the IL?
fatigue
Why
is
not?
real, man.
It is. It is.
If for anyone listening, like if you've never had like real fatigue, it is just it's so hard. You actually like literally have to drag your body to do what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
I've had fatigue maybe like twice in my life. And you know, people throw that word around like it's like, oh, I'm so tired, I'm so fatigued. You're not fatigued. Like fatigued is an actual like medical term that where your body just you try to like lift up your arm and you can't because your arm is just so tired. Like that's like legit fatigue, man. And some of these guys get it, especially pitchers that throw, you know, over 100 innings this year when last year they only threw about 60 or less. It's such a big difference because their arm isn't used to all this wear and tear, all the miles that they're putting on it now. You could do as many bullpen sessions and live batting practice sessions that you want, but there's nothing that compares to a live game.
That's true.
Where you're throwing your heart out and you're not working on pitches in the game. You already worked on that in previous bullpens the same day that you're going out in there and trying to pitch, you know, at least 6 innings and throw 100 pitches.
That's true. Well, one guy that's not tired and he just made his major league debut is Andre Jackson. He allowed just 2 hits over 4 innings pitched, 4 walks and 5 Ks. If you didn't see the game, he has a crazy changeup, dude. And I was just watching it yesterday. And man, this guy not this guy, this kid, he's actually going to be something amazing for the Dodgers. I know they just sent them down because I think Gavin Lux just came out of the IL. So they made some transactions so they can have that extra infielder there. And of course, this guy here, Andre Jackson, I think he's going to be something good for the Dodgers. He pitched 4 innings, like I said. And, you know, like if you didn't see him, Will, did you see the game yesterday?
Yeah, I did. I actually watched it this morning when I woke up. So
what you think?
Honestly, like in the first couple innings, he was really shaky.
Nerves.
Nerves, and he probably wasn't just like, you know, fully heated up yet. I think after throwing about 20 pitches, that's when he kind of like really came into his own. Yeah. That's when he started actually missing some bats. And I think he got his first strikeout in the 3rd inning. The first batter of the 3rd inning, I think. So the first couple innings, I don't know if he's traditionally a starter. I really don't know anything about this guy. I don't know if he's traditionally a starter or a reliever, but it kind of seemed like he didn't really come into his own until he kind of like loosened up a little bit, which is fine. You know, he's a rookie, and even some of the other guys like Bueller has that problem sometimes. You know, hopefully
not just Bueller. Sometimes, you know, Scherzer, Kershaw, you know, all these guys.
I think that the issue is once you get to a certain count, you have to throw the pitches that you rely on the most, that you trust the most. And I think that's what he kind of missed with. He was trying to throw that changeup, which, like you said, is incredible. Yeah. But he was throwing it when his arm wasn't ready yet, a little too off.
Which is the first and second inning. I saw it and I'm like, oh, he's trying to throw a changeup. But when he got that first strikeout, I believe he got it on the changeup.
Yeah.
And oh man,
it was actually 2 changeups in a row.
Right? And he threw it on the dirt. Oh man, I just like when he does.
That was the thing with the first and the second inning is he would throw that changeup, but it would be all over the place.
Yeah, it wouldn't be where he wanted it to be. And like I said, he's going to be a something amazing for the Dodgers if they decide to keep him. Remember, Dustin May is in the IL with Tommy John. He came up last year and he helped the Dodgers, carry them to the World Series, just like Gonsolin. So It looks like the Dodgers have a good minor league system.
Andre Jackson, he actually got sent back down to the minors already.
Yeah.
But I honestly, with the September call ups and the rosters expanding, I wouldn't be surprised if we see him again.
Yes.
You said Cole Hamels is out for the season, but we also just got word recently that Jimmy Nelson's out for the whole season.
Yeah.
So we're not going to see either two of those guys that are supposed to be a veteran presence in our bullpen that could really bolster something in a year where everyone's still trying to get adjusted and get used to playing 162 games again.
Well, that's good you mentioned the bullpen, because this guy right here needs to step it up and he needs to actually do his job, because if you, like you said, Nelson is out and, he was a big presence there. I think he had a 1 point something ERA, like it wasn't something high. He was helping the bullpen a lot, but Kenley Jansen, I know as Dodger fans, we hate to say Kenley Jansen is not a good pitcher. When you look at his numbers are not bad. And to other fan bases like the Yankees, the Red Sox, or any other fan base, they say that Dodgers fans are crybabies because we don't trust Kenley Jansen. Well, I have a question for you guys. If you're not a Dodger fan, how would you feel if your stopper or your closer will come in and blow the game, and knowing that game could put you in first place, can make you win the World Series, can make you move to the next round of the playoffs? And it's happened with Kenley Jansen year after year after year. So it's been a lot of letdowns. It's not just one letdown. It's been a lot. So think about that. I mean, I don't know. I've been hearing a lot of people say that Dodger fans are crybabies because we complain about Kenley Jansen. I know you don't like him, Will. Right?
I remember it was October 31st, 3 or 4 years ago. It was Halloween, and I was walking around with my family trick-or-treating, and that night we actually got the word that Kenley Jansen re-signed with the Dodgers. And next was Justin Turner, because they were both free agents that year. And when Kenley Jansen signed with the Dodgers again, renewed his contract, I was so happy, dude. This guy was supposed to be Mariano Rivera-esque, where he was just shutting down the opposition every single time he went out there. What's a blown save? 2 Ks per inning, 96 mile an hour cutter, slider to go with it. Recently, he just introduced a curveball and I think a changeup also. But the 95, 96 mile an hour cutter that he used to have is more like 91, 92, occasionally hitting 94, like after he gets all ramped up, but it doesn't move a lot. It's not really even like a cutter anymore. I mean, it cuts just like a little bit, but I mean, the whole point of a cutter is to make the batter think that it's a four seam and it's not going to move. And then all of a sudden it just shoots away from them.
Cuts.
Yeah.
It cuts away from you, or it cuts into you. Depending on what side you're batting.
Mariano Rivera broke so many bats because
but you don't have to go that far. We had our own here in Los Angeles. Eric Gagne was one of those top closers that would come into the game, and that was it. His name was Game Over. Why? Because he had 56 consecutive saves, dude, and we're used to that. We're used to having our closer come in and shut it down.
Jansen had that also.
He did.
He matched the save total with Eric Gagne.
Yeah.
But then now we're seeing kind of like the demise of Kenley Jansen. He's not the same guy that he used to be 3 years ago. I don't know what the hell happened. Do you remember when he had that Colorado series where he had something that was wrong with his heart and he couldn't make the Colorado trip because he had to have emergency surgery on his heart?
Open heart surgery, man.
Yeah. Now that's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
You have to go through that during the baseball season and not know if you're going to pitch again. And then we get him back like 6 weeks later.
Yeah.
And when he was still pitching great too after that. But I mean, do you think maybe that took a lot out of his body, that surgery? So maybe that's why he doesn't have that velocity that he used to and kind of that closer presence anymore?
Well, it could be part of that. That was a huge thing for him. I believe that happened in 2017 when he got that open heart surgery. And then after that, I think he went back to Colorado. I think he had two surgeries.
Yeah, he
I
did.
want to say he had two surgeries, and he was just scared to go back to Colorado. So it messed with his psyche, man. I'm pretty sure. Like, I don't want to go back there. I could die, like. And then not only that, he had COVID last year. Um, we don't know what that does. We don't know how bad his heart and his lungs is taking it. So velocity has been going down. As you get older, velocity does go down. But there's been games he's been topping off at 96, 97.
It's weird, right?
It's
It'll kind of be
weird.
out
Like,
of nowhere. Like we'll
yeah,
see this cutter that was 91, the first pitch that he threw of the at bat, and
yeah.
then once he gets through those two guys and he gets to the third batter, all of a sudden we see it 96 or 90. I even saw, was it 97? No, I don't think he got
97.
up to 97.
I've seen it in 97. I've seen it in 97. See, the thing is with Jensen is, though, I know recently he gets that first out, and then there's the two after that he can't get. He usually walks a
Right.
batter, and
Dude, that is his biggest downfall, dude.
yeah.
He walks way too many dudes. Way
When
too
he used to
many, man.
not do that. He
I
used
mean,
to
you
be
saw
like
his
on top
whip.
of it.
You saw his whip. It was a 1.2 something. Which means that,
1.246.
which means that for every inning he pitches, he walks or allows a hit at least 1.2 times. So out of 100 innings, he's letting 11 or 12 batters either a walk or a hit. And there are sometimes when he actually shuts down the opposition where he doesn't. He allows a lot of fly balls, but he also induces a lot of ground balls. So
do you agree with Roberts bringing him in as to be the closer for all the time, or should you change it?
I think you have to give this guy a break. And when we're leading by 4 or more runs, then let him close out the game. Let him get some confidence back in himself. But I think the problem is, I don't think his confidence is really there, even though he's like a really, really cocky dude. He's like, no, it's my job. I need to keep my job. No one's going to take my job.
Of course.
That's fine when you can back it up. But I mean, he hasn't really been able to back it up for the past 2 or 3 years.
Well, they have Knable and they have what's the other closer? Treinen
should be the closer.
I think it should be something where they switch up.
Like a committee?
Yeah, because I think it's becoming too intense where, look, we're living in the time and age where technology is huge. You understand the game a lot more than you did a few years ago. Yeah. You're getting a bunch of scouts. You're getting a bunch of data. You're getting the top of the line things now as a hitter. Like you never used to get that. So to say that Kenley Jansen is only the only closer of the team, I don't think that's right. I think maybe Roberts should look at alternatives. Maybe he should look for Knable. I think Knable just closed the game in, I believe in New York. So I think that was on Saturday. Was it Sunday?
I think it was Sunday. I think it was Sunday because
Sunday the Dodgers blew out the Mets, man. They blew them out on ESPN. Yeah. And then I think it was the Saturday game. The Saturday game, they brought him in and he only closed out for the last out of the game. That was it. So
I did see that because they had was it Bickford? I think it was Bickford started the ninth, and then they took him out after he got the 2 outs. I was wondering, why would they do that?
They went to the 10th inning. They went extra innings on Friday and on Saturday, and Bickford was pitching the 9th inning or something like that. I forget what inning it was. It was extra innings for sure. He
got the last out of the 9th and then the 1st and 2nd of the 10th.
Yeah, something like that.
Knable came in.
Yeah. So yeah, Dave Roberts has options. Even if you want to go a little bit deeper, Bruce Delgado is not pitching all that great.
No,
but
he's not.
You can give him some confidence on one of those games that you're up.
Bruce Dargretterall is very wild, and he walks a lot of batters, and he gives up home runs, and that's okay because he's a rookie. We know not to trust him yet, but Kenley Jansen, we're paying him $30 million a year, and he's not anywhere near close to. Okay, so his ERA is great. His ERA is in the high 2s. So if you're under 3, you're considered elite. And his strikeout rate is decent. It's a little more than a K per inning. But the walks, dude, the walks are killing him. He has 30 walks in 47 innings pitched.
He doesn't have control of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't I think he's trying to make them chase. And the problem is, like, when he misses so much, it adds up, and then it turns out to bite him in the ass in the end.
Damn, dude. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be a nice stretch where we're going to go and try to get on every Tuesday to give you the update. I know the Dodgers are in their last 10. They won 8, lost 2, just like the Giants. But the Dodgers are riding a 4-game winning streak, which hopefully by the end of the week, they'll be at 7 or 8-game winning streak. And the Giants will hit that 6-game winning streak and will be up too, right? That'll be a fantasy type of thing where the Giants don't win any more games after today, and we're throwing them bad juju.
I keep on thinking about what Dave Roberts is going to do with all the players, all the healthy players he's going to have when Mookie Betts returns. It's like now,
you have to play your hot hand. We've been saying it for so many years, but Dave Roberts
getting hot right now. Like, who do you bench? Who do you bench when everyone's hot? Do you just play the matchup where you have righty lefty matchups? So Chris Taylor can play against lefties at short and then give Corey Seager the day off. And then Corey Seager comes in to play against righties. I mean, Gavin Lux is obviously the odd man out. He's going to be the one that's on the bench.
For sure.
But I mean, Trey Turner, you have a righty. So, I mean, he hits righties and lefties really well. And he's the fastest guy on the team. He might be the fastest guy in Major League Baseball right now.
So what's been happening throughout baseball, and not just the Dodgers, baseball in general, it's been where if there's 6 games during the week, the player's going to play 5 games. You know, they've been taking a rest, right? So Chris Taylor's going to probably take care of the infield during that time, which he will play third base, short, and second. I don't think he'll take. I don't think
third, which helped me out in my fantasy league, man.
Yeah, so it won't really. He won't really play first. But then you're looking at Pujols taking over first and maybe taking a spot during on Muncie taking second base. So that'll probably limit him to 3 games, right? Because you don't want to take Muncie out, which is a big presence in the lineup.
But Taylor's been super hot this year.
He's been hot, yeah. And then if you want to go ahead and move it out to the outfield where you rest 2 players at a time, then you give that 5th day to Taylor, and he's playing five times out of the week. So he has so many options right now where he can move Taylor wherever he wants. Pollock it's looking like Pollock is going to be the odd man out, only because he's the only one that plays like does he play the whole outfield? I believe so, right?
Left and right. I'm sorry.
He plays center.
Left and center.
Left and center. So and then you have Turner, where he can play, not Justin Turner, I'm talking about Trey Turner. He can play second or short, and then Seager, dude, it's just he has too many options. He has so many options.
When Trey Turner first came up in the league, he actually had outfield eligibility in fantasy. So he played the outfield before when he first came up almost 6 years ago.
And we're still not counting in Mookie Betts.
It's kind of like the same thing. How when Mookie Betts first came up with Boston, he played second base. I want to say he played 30 games at second base in his rookie season.
Yeah, and he's still not back. So yeah, he's gonna have a huge good problem. But like I said, he has options where he can play players in the different positions, where he could probably play matchup. He can do so many other things. He's gonna be creative with it.
I wish the National League had a DH, man. We would dominate with a DH.
Oh yeah, that would be a dominating team for sure. But
I
know
have Muncie be the DH most days and have everyone else play the field. I mean, he or Turner, because Turner seems to get Justin Turner. He seems to get injured a little more than the other players. Corey Seager, he doesn't really get injured while he's playing. He for him, it's more like little underlying stuff that kind of just pops up. Yeah. Just from playing for so long.
You know what sucks? I hate the fact that we got to be like, oh, Turner. Oh, man, we got to say Trey Turner. Or we got to go, oh, Justin Turner.
We can start calling Justin Turner JT like everyone else does.
JT. Oh, yeah.
Let's start using all their nicknames, man. JT, CT3.
Dude, I don't remember all their – I don't think I remember all their nicknames.
Really?
I call them by their last name all the time. I call some of my friends by their last name.
Yeah, I do that too.
I'm used to it, I guess. High school ball did that to me, I guess. I used to see the major league players and they call themselves by their last names. I'm like, I'm going to do the same thing. And I just stuck. I call people from for their last name.
Like on Rookie of the Year. You seen that movie
Yeah.
where he's like Rosenberger or
His rolling daughter. That's a good movie. Will, you have anything else to say, man? We have a little bit of more time. If there's any questions? I don't know if anybody's been joining the chat or anything.
So we have 2 watching the live right now.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll watch throughout the week and drop us a comment, during the recorded session, not necessarily when we're live. I know we didn't really promote today. Sorry, guys.
Drop the ball.
Had a little too much going on. Today was my son's orientation for kindergarten, and had to go and get his. So he's going to a private school, so I had to go and get him the khakis and the shirts with the embroidery on it and all that crap. So,
good times.
Yeah, it's fun.
All right. Well, yeah, Carlos Baseball. This is Willpower. This is Dodger Pod. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them here. Comment, whatever. I mean, I don't care. Do it on Instagram as well. I haven't even opened the TikTok yet, but I'll do that for sure, so I can put highlights on there. Yeah, the Instagram is growing pretty fast, right, Will?
Yeah. We I want to say it's been a little more than 2 weeks, and we have almost like 150 followers already.
Dang, that's too fast. That's faster than the other one for sure.
Yeah, way faster. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, Dodgers is an acquired taste,
Yeah.
So there's not necessarily more Dodger fans than all of baseball fans, but I feel like Dodger fans who are very like diehard about the Dodgers, they want to get as much Dodgers as they can, just like I do. I follow every single Dodgers Instagram that I come across. Unless they're the kind that only have like one post, and that was like 2 years ago, and they have a bunch of bots following him and stuff. I can't stand that stuff.
Well,
Dodgers Nation is actually really cool. I like their Instagram, who I like
Yeah.
to base a lot of my stuff off of.
yeah.
I think they just got sponsored, and they're actually growing pretty big. So,
That's the dream, man. If we can do
That's the
something for the
dream.
Dodgers, I'll be dope. Because who likes their 8 to 5 jobs or their 6 to whatever? What time you going? Super
3.
early. Yeah, that's super
3 to
early.
11:30.
Yeah, man. If you could do 2 hours, why not? And get paid good money, why not? Well, not everybody's a Dodger fan because not all of us are perfect. If you're not a Dodger fan, you're not perfect. I think we're the most loyal fans out there. I know there's a Yankee fans, there's the Mets fans where they talk a lot of trash. I got into it with a lot of Mets fans this past week.
Yeah.
Which is, like it's fun. It's all fun with me. I don't care. But
I got into it with the Phillies fan.
Really?
At the game.
At the game? Oh my
At
God.
the game,
You
bro.
gonna fight?
Ooh, I was heated, man. I was heated. It was getting pretty close to it. And my buddy that went with me, he's actually a big Phillies fan. And he's like, dude, that guy's acting like a jackass. Like I would have had your back if anything went down. And I was just like, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't fight.
Oh man, I was so close, dude. I was so close.
Dude, they give Dodger fans already a bad rap. It's
I know.
crazy.
And this guy was acting worse than most Dodger fans.
And that's the thing, though. That's what I was trying to prove to these Met fans. They're being rude. They're being obnoxious. They're saying that, they're the best team in the East. We're gonna win. This happened on Friday. We're gonna win the series. Like, yeah, right. Whatever. We swept you guys. It's like, come on, man. And then they're talking about Trevor Bauer, how he didn't go over there to New York. Like he didn't go over there because he knew he was gonna get accused out here, But anyway, like. I don't know. I think it's that East Coast, West Coast rivalry thing. I know if the Dodgers were to play in the American League against the Yankees, we'll have that rivalry as well. It's a huge rivalry now, and they don't even play in the same division or in the same league. So, I want to get into it with another Giants fan. Why not? San Francisco, like I'm ready. I know. I'm down for that. We should get a San Francisco Giant fan here.
You could actually call the Mets the
child,
the love child of the Giants and the Dodgers.
Yeah, because
back when the Giants and the Dodgers were both in New York, that's actually how the Mets got their colors. They're blue and orange. They took the blue from the Dodgers when they left from Brooklyn to LA, and then they took the orange from the Giants when they left from New York to San Francisco.
I think it's more complex than that. I think the Giants and Dodgers split up. They had a fight, and they both moved to California. But they had a fight, and then the child was left alone in New York, the Mets, and that's why they're so bitter.
No one wanted him in the divorce.
No one wanted him, and they left him out there in New York. All right. Anything
rats.
else? Yeah, with the rats, with the huge rats. Anything else to say before we log off, man?
I don't think so, man. I mean, let's try to be more consistent with this podcast. I mean, that's something for a conversation for me and you. But
yeah,
I would like to figure out like a good time every week and a good day every week where we can really try to grow this one. You know, this is the one that I think I'm a little bit more passionate about, and obviously you are too. You know, growing up as Dodger fans. So if we could try to build this one, the Dodger Pod, Instagram, and we do have our Facebook also. That everything I upload from Instagram goes to Facebook, and then now with the podcast on YouTube, it's hard because of our work schedules. But I mean, we could figure it out. You know.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Well, I'm Carlos Baseball.